Hello everyone, just a slight disclaimer as always before watching this video. This video is based off the events of the first 4 episodes in the Murder series, concept art, and a handful of tweets, so the majority of this is just pure speculation, so take this video with a grain of salt. And if you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe and check out any other non-related theory content. Thank you! Murder's episode 4 is rich with new lore to plunder. As for my other videos, they will hopefully be coming out after theory video number 19. So for anyone wanting me to continue the Murder Drones OC Explained video, don't worry, as I will be working on that video in the meantime. Choosing what lore drop to cover from episode 4 was like shooting at a dartboard randomly while you're blind. But I have decided to start with probably the most prominent point about this episode, Uzi's transformation, as she's basically gone haywire. I feel like it's best to start with this, as we have a lot to cover. Starting in the episode, we see Uzi use the Absolute Solver to hold items and break stuff pre-transformation. That means that Uzi has practiced her new powers since we last saw her in episode 3. This also means that she has been consuming a lot more oil, and we can tell by the fact that she's carrying a severed arm in her backpack. Throughout the episode, however, we see her go through many meltdowns, as I will call them, or times when she suddenly started to overheat for no apparent reason. Compared to Doll, Uzi's had a lot of trouble with overheating, especially at random times when she isn't using it. After an embarrassing yet terrifying moment with her class, she runs into the woods to hide from her class and her friends. She instantly barricades the door and tries to cool herself down when the lights and the ticking clock overwhelm her. I don't know how to explain this scene, but in her attempt to get the handout, she seems overwhelmed by the noise and the light, to the point that she needs to destroy them. But something goes wrong as a strange flesh-like tentacle appears and consumes her, seemingly starting the transformation from worker drone to something else. Strangely enough, if you recall the scene in which Uzi investigates Doll's bathtub, we can see what appears to be blood and other flesh-like things in the room, and the lights are also red. I'll talk more about that later. After this transformation, she goes on a killing spree, killing Darren, Rebecca, Brayden, Ronathan, Emily, and almost V before being stopped by N. Her appearance after transformation bears a striking resemblance to a murder drone with her wings, but more flesh-like than robotic. Her eyes flash from overheating regular to the Absolute Solver symbol, and even the iconic X symbol. Her tail, however, is a weird thing that looks like a barb with an opening mouth. By her quick kill streak and even overpowering V, we can assume that she is more deadly and powerful than the murder drones, as she was only stopped thanks to N's therapy session. At the end of the episode, we see her being burned by sunlight, implying that she has some degree gone murder drone.
Yes! Hell yeah! Hey, come on, baby! Come on! Yes! Come on! Ah! Yes! Yes!
If you don't recall, 6 months ago, I said that Uzi was turned into a murder drone, and after 6 months, I'm partially correct. To start, I said that Uzi was turned into a murder drone via N's saliva, and that her violent thoughts triggered kill mode, or the X symbol that appears on the murder drones during their kill sprees. Over time, the theory did grow and grow to be correct. From Uzi sweating in episode 2, not to mention the fact that she didn't know why, and Doll's role in episode 3, while I do believe violent actions do trigger the symbol, oil does as well. This does explain why Uzi attacks and kills her classmates, but this doesn't explain these two scenes.
Uzi, you want to tell me what's the matter?
No, don't look. I'm gross and eating people and stuff.
Yeah, we'll figure that part out.
Something I never thought of about was if a murder drone was conscious during kill mode. and if they did know that they were killing people. But Uzi does show some level of consciousness about her actions. In the second scene, when we see her devouring Darren, she coughs up oil and looks at her hands as multiple symbols and expressions glitch over her face. This could be her fighting the Absolute Solver and its infection, or her in a dizzy haze-like state. You know when you wake up in the middle of the night and think, I'm thirsty, or I'm hungry, and you without a second thought hop out of bed and go to the fridge and eat anything available to you? I feel like this is what Uzi was going through at this moment, as she was incredibly hungry and needed something to eat. And oh, looky there, some campers to chow on. Also, something to note is that during N's therapy session, Uzi admitted to not only killing people, but also not liking the actions she just committed. She clearly shows that she was aware of her reactions, but it appears as though she wasn't a big fan of her new upgrades. But why is this? N does share some guilt in killing worker drones, especially when he avoided Uzi as he was too dangerous. A theory that has gone around was that she was possessed, but I don't think that's the case. Remember my theory about violent actions causing kill mode? Well, what about sadness, anger, or even pleasure? I feel like as though during the entirety of this scene, Uzi was confused and scared, and she didn't know why she was eating people or why she suddenly had this insatiable hunger for oil and other stuff. So she was doing what she thought she had to do during this confusion, or she was just frozen in thought, just letting this happen to satisfy it and get it out of her system. If this theory does turn out to be true, then you could say that strong emotions do trigger these reactions. Now, with this episode and the involvement with the Absolute Solver, one must think, why does this occur for Uzi, but not Doll? This could be because of a few reasons. The amount of oil consumed between the two, what they inherited, unaccounted factors, or the Absolute Solver affects people differently. Starting, I have assumed that Bep is influenced by oil consumption, and the more oil you consume, the more powerful you get. However, while Uzi does use the Absolute Solver more frequently and efficiently, we see her constantly having meltdowns, and she scrambles to get the one singular arm she's been carrying around in her backpack. Doll, on the other hand, never had a meltdown. We never see her overheat in the entirety of episodes 2 or 3. This could imply that Bep isn't something you gain from oil, but rather something you have to practice to get better at. The more oil you consume, however, the less chance of them getting a meltdown you have. Secondly, they most likely inherited the Absolute Solver from one of their parents, both, of course, getting it from their mothers. However, it's possible that the infection was hastened by Uzi via N's saliva. This could also explain why Uzi is more of a vampire and Doll is more of a ghost. This could also explain the theory that Doll is a ghoul, as ghouls are created when a person who savored flesh, in this case oil, died. But Uzi didn't technically die, and we are assuming that Doll has. Not to mention, Uzi hasn't eaten or harvested any oil like Doll has. So we can assume that the Absolute Solver got corrupted and believe that Uzi ate a lot more oil thanks to N's saliva, and most likely his code or DNA. This is what most likely triggered her transformation and her rapidly increased powers. And finally, as I said before, the Absolute Solver might just work differently for these drones. To end this video, I wanted to talk about what we could call these drones. While the term zombie drone might be fitting, I'll just call these things ghouls for now, as this name is more fitting. Also, I just wanted to mention this, but if you remember the teaser trailer, there are multiple entities that were hunting this unnamed character, and we can confirm this is not Brayden, meaning that there's still something going on in Camp 98.7. Is this the end for it? We'll just have to see and find out. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and stay tuned for my OCs Explained Part 2, and if you haven't already, remember to like and subscribe. Thank you.